What's up, everybody? It's your boy, him from there. Um, episode four. What is Yep, episode four. Got 3 episodes in. Hope everybody's listening and tuning in and helping me get this podcast thing off the ground. Let's get into it. Today, not really many topics, but today, I want to talk about music. I want to do a music show. And not just rap. I mean, I listen to music, and yes, hip hop is my favorite genre of music. But I like music. Period. I think music is a huge thing. I think everybody should listen to something, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon. I think you should be able to play music. I remember having certain jobs I had, and to keep, I don't know, trying to keep me motivated and keep me wanting to do a job, I would listen to music. So sometimes I wasn't supposed to, but sometimes I'd have like a Walkman or a CD player, places I wasn't supposed to be. Music is in my mind all the time. I'm in conversations with people and going through my head. Sometimes it's songs that I'm just thinking about, and music is a big, big, big part of my life. I think it should be a big, big part of everybody's life. So I'm just gonna have today just a show just talking about um music. I guess I start when I first. I don't know. It's funny though because my mother is another person that my mother really loves music, and I'm the my first. I don't know. My first memory of any kind of music, honestly, is I remember in kindergarten, we had like a little dance party in kindergarten, and I remember the teacher said, everybody bring in some music, bring like your favorite album or whatever like that. And at the time, um, Flashdance, the movie Flashdance was out. My mother had the Flashdance. My mother had a bunch of albums. My mother, like I said, my mother loved music. But I remember my mother had the Flashdance um record, and she played it every weekend while she was cleaning and stuff like that. And like every a lot of black households, on weekends, your parents played music and they cleaned the house. So I was in kindergarten though, so I didn't really do that much cleaning, when I was little. But I remember my mother doing cleaning the house and listening to Flashdance. So I was like, all right, I'll bring the Flashdance album, and I remember bringing it, and all those songs from the Flashdance soundtrack we played in our class, and it was dancing and stuff like that. And it's funny though because I remember my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Goldman. I think it was Mrs. Goldman. I think that's her name. Yeah. And I remember at the end of the at the end of the day, she asked, "Can I borrow this album and I'll bring it back to you tomorrow?" And I was like, "Sure." I mean, you're a kid. I'm like, "Sure." And she borrowed it, and she brought it back the next day. My mother was so upset at me that I let the teacher borrow the album. But I was a kid. I was gonna be like, "No, you can't." But I let the teacher borrow the Flashdance album. I remember that, and remember my mother getting mad at me for letting her borrow it. But she brought it back the next day. But I mean, that's just that's the thing. Music does, man. Music can take over your soul, take over your, make you feel a certain way and do certain. Just music is very, very powerful. Very. Um. So that's kind of like my first. I don't know, my first memory of music and records and stuff like that. Um. Fast forward to um. I'm not. I don't want to. I'm not gonna be. I'm not too correct of what I know. It was the '80s, and it's my favorite album, and it's crazy that I can't remember what year it came out. Let me see if I can find it. But my introduction to hip hop, I think everybody has their introduction to hip hop, and mine was He's the DJ and I'm the Rapper, the first album from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It was 1988. That was my introduction to rap music. I remember um seeing the video for my parents. Just parents just don't understand, and I just that was it. I fell in love with that song, and then I remember being able to go to the record store and get the first two rap albums in my house. Honestly, was He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. That's the record I got when we went to the record store. It's the first record I ever got, ever bought for me. And then my brother got Follow the Leader, Eric B and Rakim album. Those are the two first hip hop albums in our household. So I got to listen to, and that, I don't care what nobody says. You can call Will Smith, um, cookie cutter rap, or punk rap or corny rap, but that first album is extremely well produced. Jazzy Jeff is one of the best DJs in history of DJing. And from that era, from '88, Will Smith had bars. I don't care what you say, whatever. It sounds crazy, but you listen to that album, go back to the way people were rapping and the way that album is a classic album to me, and it's one of the best hip hop. It's a double album too. It's two records. It's like 24 songs, and that album to me is a very very classic hip hop album. Sorry, whatever. You can debate me if you want to and call Will Smith corny, whatever. But that first album, He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper, the great hip hop album. Don't care what nobody says. And I have it till this day. I have the vinyl. I don't, I don't play. I have the vinyl. One day, hopefully, maybe I can get it signed. But I have the vinyl of He's the DJ, I'm the Rapper. So that was my first introduction to hip hop. And then after that, it just took over my life, like it took over everybody else's life. Um, yeah, and then on the other hand, like my brother had Follow the Leader. That Eric B and Rakim album was, Microphone Fiend to me is one of the best spitted like bars, verses to me, top to me that's been top five, um like braggadocious, just rap. Just, I mean, I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream. I mean, Rakim was just in his bag on that, and just, I mean, it's a classic to me. It's a classic rhyme, and then, ooh, that song, man. And yeah, Microphone Fiend is another classic top record in my mind, and my opinion. Um, and then the Follow the Leader, that song. I remember that video. They were gangsters and everything like that. I thought that video was so cold, man. It was just, like it was, and this was like the beginning of, to me, I don't know. This is just when I really started paying attention to rap, because it's been through a lot. It's been through a lot of changes, and I was there for every single change and try to keep up with every single trend, man. I mean, from the native tongues into, on the West Coast, you had you had NWA, and my brother was a big, huge West Coast hip hop fan. I mean, he got his nickname because he was a huge West Coast hip hop fan. Is why we started calling him LA, because that's, and back then I would make fun of the music. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like one of the ignorant people that thought, just because it was West Coast, it was, in those, the way they rhymed and the way people rapped on the East Coast, thought it was different, but it wasn't. It was actually just as good as East Coast. But I would used to make fun of him for liking it. But then as I got older and started listening to him, like, these guys are just as good, because they had different styles, but they were still talking about the same thing, still talking about the streets, and still talking about how good they was at rapping. I mean, it was the same thing. It was just in a different style, and the West Coast definitely had their own unique style, and the East Coast, So as I'm rest in peace to my brother, he's the one that showed me that it's not just New York, man. Everybody makes records from the South too. Can't be stagnated, and can't keep you have to open your mind to rap, and I'm glad that he opened his mind to rap, and then I started opening my mind to rap, and that's why I'm a fan of all genres of rap, from the South to the East to the West to the Midwest. And I don't just be like, oh, it's just New York. Nah, that's why um rap became so big, because everybody started doing it in their own style, and so yeah, and then in the '90s, like I said, the '90s came with the Native Tongues and A Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, um, all that was just De La Soul. All that was just dope. It was just um, one thing I ain't gonna, honestly. I remember my boy, one of my boys that I grew up with, Ralph. Shout out to Ralph, my boy from Building 2 in Indictment Projects. We were in every single, from the kindergarten to the fifth grade, maybe, no, maybe the sixth or seventh grade. We were in the same class, um, every year, and he was another person that was a big hip hop fan. He was a big Fresh Prince fan too. Me and him was like the rare um Fresh Prince fans. We kept up with Will Smith and Jazzy even till they when got the when he got the show and everything. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. We were big, so like he wasn't surprised to for us that he was gonna blow up like that because we was already fans from day one. So, but I remember him being into the X Clan. That's one thing I can never got into, like X Clan and all that. Pro black. I mean, I love Public Enemy wasn't. They were kind of like that, but not like that. But I remember him being a big X Clan fan. I just could not get with the X Clan. I was like one to the hip hop. I was like, nah, that's just not for me. And not that I'm not like not for my people pro black. They were just a little bit. I mean, I don't know. As a kid, they were just a little bit too pro black for me. It was just like that was a lot. So I wasn't really a big fan of the X Clan and all that stuff and everything. But shout out to the X Clan. That was another part of hip hop history that you know the style and the music was going through. Um, so I what else? Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're not supposed to be this on a podcast, but I'm just like I said, getting back into it. So with that, I guess that's when I don't know. That's probably when gangster rap really started around that time with NWA. NWA was just that was just who, and it wasn't even really that. I wasn't a teenager, when NWA came out, so it wasn't like I was supposed to be listening to Straight Outta Compton. But I mean, it was everywhere, and we was I guess sneaking to listen to it because we had the. I don't even know how we got um that album in our house. I don't even know if I dubbed it from somebody. But I remember having Straight Outta Compton, the whole album, and with F the police and Dope Man and all that stuff. We had that album, and I get the video was played on MTV all the time, man. So, and I don't know a hip hop head that doesn't know that opening line from Cube. That's like one of those things you don't forget. Once you heard it, that's it, and you said it numerous hundreds, thousands of times, man. Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube from the gang called Niggas with Attitude. I mean, that's one of the best opening lyrics of a rap song ever. So NWA days was crazy though. I mean, because I remember they used to when they used the interviews they had on MTV when they were just rolling around Compton. They was strapped. The Easy had the a gun, and it was crazy, man. It used to be like, damn, yo, that's they real. That was, you look at that, you was like, yo, they real. What they going through out there in L.A. The way they was grew up in the hood and stuff like that. Two totally different hood stories from as opposed to New York City inner city youth and L.A. city. I guess I mean, it was kind of the same but different. So if you know, you know. If you grew up in L.A., you know. And if you grew up in New York City like I did, you know. Um, but I'm gonna just talk about hip hop. Um, Sitting acting like that's all I listen to, man. Because R&B when I was a kid was great. New, of course, New Edition and Bobby Brown. I mean, don't let nobody um fool you and say that Bobby Brown wasn't everything. You know what I'm saying? Come to R&B, he is one of the kings of R&B. I mean, he had it on lock. When that first Bobby Brown album came out, it was crazy. Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative. He could dance his ass off. He was the Chris Brown of our era. I say he's the way Chris Brown was um what's I don't know the word of it. Just to me, I think Bobby Brown was our Chris Brown. Like the way these teenage girls had Chris Brown in the 2000s, and dude, Chris Brown was it for them. For us, it was Bobby. We had Bobby, and he didn't he didn't hold back, man. Every Bobby Brown performance was crazy. I remember always looking forward to seeing him perform on like a award show or something like that, or just on a talk show or something when he was gonna be on Arsenio. I knew you knew you was gonna get a good performance because he performed his ass off. So shout out to Bobby Brown, and then New Edition, of course. I mean, um, it's I mean to this day still touring, and and it's funny because the people that are a little older than me, like aunts, and cousins, and girls that I grew up with and stuff like that, are still going to those concerts. And it's funny, like when I was younger and watching them, fangirl over New Edition, and um just knowing, yeah, those albums was classic. Like that Can You Stand the Rain song is just timeless. And that Any Heartbreak album is one of the best R&B albums ever made. Period. That's a no skipper. You can listen to that album from the first song to the last song, and every song is a banger. Um, so argue with your mama about that one. And then any New Edition fan or R&B fan to me will tell you that that album is crazy. So R&B, and then pop music. Let's not forget our pop songs. Madonna, um, Boy George, the New Kids on the Block. Yeah, I listened to everything. It didn't matter. I mean, throw a little bit of country in there, a little bit of Randy Travis, um, Garth Brooks, Thunder Rolls, and the light. Just yeah, I listened to everything. Um, Johnny Cash. I mean, that's really before my time, but I mean, just things that I listened to when I was a kid. Um, just music. Period. Then you got your Rod, you got your Guns N' Roses, you got your Poison. Um, of course, Bon Jovi. I live in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. That's where Bon Jovi was born. We lived. John Bon Jovi is from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. No lies. Google that. That's a fact. I had the Slippery and When Wet album, man, and that's another one. Another, oh my god, if you want to say to me, and people argue that that's another to be a perfect album. That album is just, oh man, I mean, just bangers, rock bangers, man, rock bangers on Slippery When Wet, man. Classic, 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 super classic album. Um, I remember playing that, would play that when my friends was over, and they look at me like I was a crazy person. Not everybody was a rock fan. It's funny when you a black kid growing up in the projects, and from your house you hear um Bon Jovi, and I played it faithfully. I didn't care what anybody thought. And those videos, when MTV first started, and they playing all the rock videos. Wasn't a lot of rap videos. We didn't get Yo MTV Raps till the '90s, but in the '80s, I watched MTV every day, and they slipped some hip hop in there. The Beastie Boys, of course. I forgot to mention the Beasties. Oh my god. License to Ill, man. That album's crazy, man. I remember love watching the video for You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. Oh my god. That video was classic. Classic, classic. So shout out to the Beastie Boys, another um iconic group from my day, from when I was growing up. Um Michael Jackson, of course. Just don't even have to go into what Michael was to music. Period. Doesn't matter any genre or whatever. Michael is the king of. I don't need to say a king of pop, man, but you can. I mean, one of the best um, performers, vocalists. Just Michael checks all the boxes. So, of course, Michael Jackson growing up was a staple. It's crazy because you can go into households back then, and everybody had that freaking Thriller album in their house. I don't care. It was crazy. Like you can go into people's houses and know that they had that Thriller album in their possession, in their house. Like it was in tape form, um or album form. Thriller was in a lot of people's houses, and that's crazy. I mean, and it's the biggest selling album ever. So of course, but be there. I mean, I was there. Like people my age were there. We were there with the Michael Jackson phenomenon. That's like sometimes with the argument people say, you know, with Michael and Beyonce and Taylor Swift. I mean, in their right, yeah, they're great superstar artists, iconic. Um, when we get older and our kids get older, they'll be their icons. But I don't know if it could compare, man, to Michael, man. I mean, oh man, I mean it's crazy, man. It's Michael Jackson, man. I mean, when he performed at the Super Bowl, got out there and stood there for 5 minutes, man, and didn't say anything. But he took off his glasses and stood there for like another couple of minutes and didn't say anything. And people were already fainting and falling out. I ain't never seen no shit like that before. And probably will never will. I don't know. I've never been to a Taylor Swift concert. I don't know if she has that effect on people. I don't know. I've never been to a Drake concert. I don't know if he has that effect on people, but I've never seen anything like um Michael Joseph Jackson. Like seriously, like that's a different kind of superstar, different kind of presence on a stage. I mean, um, never seen that. So and not that I was acting. I'm just saying I was in that generation, in that timeline, and seen stuff like that. So I've never seen it again. So and a lot of people my age can vouch for that. So um I remember movie soundtracks too. Oh my god, like they just like these days these kids don't get movie soundtracks, man. Movie soundtracks back then were crazy. Like it was you already getting a movie, but then you getting music with it too. I mean, so many, and it was just like every movie had a soundtrack, man. I remember the freaking Short Circuit. Remember Who's Johnny by Elder Barge? That's Who's Johnny's song, man. Come on. Top Gun, the Top Gun soundtrack, one of my favorite movies, man. I mean, Danger Zone, just as Kenny Loggins, man. Danger Zone is still played. I have another one I have on vinyl is the Top Gun soundtrack. It's something that I have. Make sure I have on vinyl is the Top Gun soundtrack, man. That Danger Zone song is too much. And then um, Take My Breath Away, a great ballad. Um, I mean that's another. What else is the Footloose soundtrack? That another Kenny Loggins was killing the soundtracks in the '80s, man. Footloose soundtrack is another soundtrack, movie soundtrack that was just amazing. Um, you had Ghostbusters. I mean, yeah, whatever. How as corny as it sounds, I don't care how tough you are or whatever. Growing up, if you was a kid and when you heard who you gonna call Ghostbusters, and the soundtrack went with an incredible another classic '80s moment is Ghostbusters, classic movie and classic song, classic soundtrack. It's another pop culture. That ghost symbol is another thing that's just up there with Pepsi and Coke. You know what I mean? Like just stuff from the '80s that just sticks out. Like if you say Ghostbusters, you think '80s, you think that song. And another thing, like I said, music is huge, man. Music is just um everywhere, man. So I miss movie soundtracks. Um, there's a lot of dope movie soundtracks, man. From like I said, Ghostbusters, and remember one of my favorite movie soundtracks of all time is the Boomerang movie soundtrack. Boomerang movie soundtrack is a great, one of the best to me movie soundtracks for especially for black movies, because black movies always one thing that always got this cool soundtrack, especially in the '90s. And to me, Boomerang is the best black movie soundtrack ever made. I don't care what nobody say. Um, Juice had a great movie soundtrack. Boys in the Hood's movie soundtrack was dope. The album was dope. But to me, Boomerang, I don't know, that is every song on that Boomerang soundtrack is crazy. It was even Hot Sex on the Platter, if you don't know, from Chop Core Quest. That was on that Boomerang soundtrack, man. One of to me, one of my favorite Tribe songs is Hot Sex on the Platter. Was on that Boomerang soundtrack. Babyface was on his bag, and that was in his bag, and that one too. That one and the Waiting Takes Hell soundtrack. Mm. Yeah, Babyface was killing those two. he was killing it with the movie soundtracks. Those two right there for sure, no doubt. Um, then in the '90s, Um, to me, two of the most iconic rap groups came out in the '90s, and that would for me would be the Wu Tang Clan. Oh, before I didn't even mention the Run DMC impact on music and rap. Um, yeah, before I start talking about Mob Deep and Wu Tang, Run DMC, yeah, you know you had your shell top Adidas and your black jean jacket, um, your sweatsuit or whatever. So they kind of like started, getting older as I got, in the '90s. So and started doing their own thing and not really making too much music, but definitely um, rap wouldn't be where it was without Run DMC. And also one of my top five rappers of all time is James Todd Smith, aka LL Cool J. Yeah. Say what you want. Um, about when the '90s when he went. I'm not saying he went soft. He just was more making more ladies records. But before that, and still his last album was he was in his LL Cool J mode on that last album, especially that song with M. So that was a decent project. I don't care what nobody says. LL Cool J's last album currently was good. But I mean, going back to the LL from the '80s, definitely paved the way for a lot. First to me, the first rap superstar was LL Cool J. All right, but like I was saying with the '90s, we got um Mob Deep and the Wu Tang Clan. That's when I don't know. That's just when the hip hop was just like it was just oh man, that Mob, that infamous album, one of the best produced and um to me one of the best hip hop albums, not just hip hop rap groups. One of the best hip hop albums ever is that first infamous album. I remember playing it. I remember it came out. I want to say it came out in like September that year when school started. I remember playing that album probably until August. Like I just played it all year, like from start to finish. I played that infamous album, man. And then when my best friend, shout out to David Stevens, um, you may know that's my one of my interviews, one of the only interviews for my podcast. He introduced me to the Wu Tang Clan. I remember him coming. He had the single. I don't even know where he got it from. I don't know. He was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this." And to me and my brother, it was on like a Sunday, so it was weird. He just gave shit about house. Yo, you gotta hear this shit. And I remember the tape, the white tape. It was just had that symbol on the front, and it was two songs on there: "Protect Your Neck" and "Method Man." And when that started, is crazy, man. Probably changed. I'm not saying it changed my life though. It just took over, man. And why to this day I've been to two Wu Tang concerts in my 40s, and I'm in there singing every line for line like I'm in my bedroom back in the days, um, singing it, man. It's Wu Tang Clan coming at you. Watch your step, kid. Watch your step, kid. Watch your step, kid. I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, terrorizing jams like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood spider, man. Come on, oh man, whew. And then like what when it's the beginning, and I playing in the car constantly. I mean, when I'm driving somewhere to just if I'm just driving to McDonald's to pick up the girls' food or something, if I'm just driving to the supermarket, I'm just and the beginning of fucking shook ones come on, just that tick, 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 that, and that's the oven. So if you grew up in the project, it's so it just especially that song, especially if you grew up in the project and you have a oven like that, and that tick 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 tick. That's the actual oven that Havoc used for that beginning. The oven turning on. And I guess it was just I don't know what it was to signify, but to me it signified that this is song is hot and you need to listen to it. That's what I go through my mind when I hear that. But when you hear that, tick, 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 and then oh man, to all my killers and $100 billers, for real niggas who ain't got no feelings, check it out now. That I got you stuck off the realness. Fisher Queensbridge Murderers. That just that and that beat, man. That beat is top 5 hip hop beats ever made. It's in the top 5. Argue with your mother. Um, and then just that's yeah. So protect your neck and shook ones, man. That's just like to me. That's like if you have a sound of the '90s to me for hip hop. Those two songs right there, just it's New York hip hop. I say, but just and then it's just so many other, even and people, talk about um Fat Joe, his stories are crazy. I don't think Fat Joe is lying. I just think it's just greatly exaggerated. Like if an uncle, everybody has that uncle that tells stories. The stories are true, but some of the parts are just a little bit, fabricated. Not as fabricated, exaggerated, and I don't know. I think that just makes the story better, right? So I don't think Fat Joe's lying. I don't. I just think he just exaggerates. He's just a very, very vivid storyteller, and he exaggerates um every story. So nothing wrong with that. But saying though, because when he came out, I remember FloJo. We was pumping FloJo. I remember it came out on the remember the box when you call and order the music videos. And I remember it was constantly on. You got to flow, Joe. You got to flow, Joe. You gotta. And he wasn't really spitting. He wasn't. It wasn't like he was Nas. He wasn't spitting the greatest lines or whatever. But it's still the song. It had a great hook. um it got you hype, man. So that's all when especially you that age, you hear that, throw that on, you thought it was tough. You listen to your FloJo. He looked the part too, because it made me scared to go to the Bronx. Like seeing video, that was one thing about hip hop, man. Like with the certain areas of the city, when you watch their videos or like where it is from, you looked at you would, and well, this is just me. Like I said in my last on the last show, I wasn't a tough guy. Sometimes I used to try to dress the part, which was stupid because then you look the part. People think you was a tough guy, with some Tims and an army jacket. I think I tried to do that once, and then it was like, nah, you know what, that's not me. But seeing the dudes that did wear Tims and army jackets in neighborhoods and seeing that and be like, yeah, that. So you saw the videos, you'd be like, yeah, I don't want to go there. Like I used to be, um, afraid to go to Fordham Road because it was in the Bronx. And I'm like, yo, you saw that FloJo video? Yo, the dudes in that video look like they, gonna steal your sneakers or your chain or your, like they'll beat you up and jump you. So I used to be like kind of like iffy about going across the bridge right there. And Fordham Road was right there by Dykeman Street, man. We was very close. We could walk to Fordham Road. We used to walk to White Castle. That was that's the to me that used to be the only White Castle that existed, the one on Fordham. So we used to walk to Fordham. I used to always be like, all right, man, I hope we don't run into any of them FloJo cats because they look real tough, and I'm not tough at all. So hope I don't run into them. But it was crazy though because that's what hip hop did, man. The videos, man, it just showed you the griminess of different boroughs and the different stories coming from different boroughs, and everybody was different. I mean, you had your Queens dudes, you had your, like I said, the Bronx dudes, and um, it's funny though with Manhattan because I would we were from Washington Heights. I grew up in Washington Heights, grew up in Manhattan. I would always say, yeah, where you from? I'm from Manhattan, from Dykeman. It really didn't hold that much weight back then. Dykeman did, but now it's like the place to be in New York City, at least nowadays. But growing up, Dykeman was not that. So and it was funny though because like I would say, yeah, I'm from Manhattan, and you could say you from Manhattan, but it was, and then it was Harlem. Like, where you from? Harlem. That was a whole different, vibe, a whole different area from. It was you say you from Manhattan. Well, what part of Manhattan? Well, I'm from Washington Heights, and people used to swear Washington Heights was in the Bronx. Like, no, there's 2 more stops before you get to the Bronx. Just 215th Street, and then you got 225th. That's when you got to the Bronx. But we was still Manhattan. Um, yeah, in Harlem, like I said, Harlem had another whole different vibe of rappers. Um, Big L, Cam Mace, those dudes kind of put Harlem on the map, hip hop music wise. Dougie Fresh, of course, um representing Harlem, but and I wasn't really. This is one I think I was less afraid to go to Harlem as a kid because I guess it was it was black people and there's at one point it's like yeah we go to Two Fifth. I felt comfortable in Harlem on Two Fifth. I guess because around black people. I'm not that black people didn't, but I don't know. It's just being around your people felt better as in being in Washington Heights. And I'm not saying every Dominican person was not feeling us back then, but like I said, I felt a lot of more love um in Harlem than I did in Washington Heights at times. So I mean that's just whatever. It wasn't all the time, but for a little while. But for a little while, yeah, I felt more comfortable going to Harlem and stuff like that. Two Fifth around the Apollo, going shopping in Harlem. But I don't know, rap music was just different and everything. And then Bushwick, oh man, um, I spent some time in Bushwick, met some people, really close friends from Bushwick, and was able to hang out there a lot and stuff. And around the time when the boot camp clip started, that's another one that was that's just different. Like this, that's another. I They don't get enough. We don't talk about Buckshot and um Helter Skelter and OGC and Duck Down Music and all that more as much as we should. Sean Price and I mean they should get more recognition than they do because that music is just that's on another level, man. I remember seeing these guys perform at the Rock the Mic festival when they was doing it back in the early um not early mid 2000s, like 2000 after I got married about 2008 9 before I had my first child and was able to be outside a little bit, not doing nothing crazy, but being outside and going to hip hop festivals. And I remember finally getting to see them perform. And yeah, um, shout out to Black Moon. They put on a awesome show. I've seen them twice. Um, in my older ages and knew every song. It was cool just singing along to every song, and they put on an awesome, great show. If you never seen Black Moon live, you missed out. I don't know if they're still doing shows, but the shows that I saw were amazing. So shout out to Black Moon. Um, Crazy. I got to see this was after Sean Price passed, but I got to see Helter Skelter and Smith and Wesson. Um, Dope, man. Those are dope music right there. That's just another music to me that's timeless. And then I guess in the 2000s, that's when I don't know, not really 2000, but like the late 90s when Outkast started coming up, and again, that's another group that changed my life. Just oh man, and that was something my brother put me on to kind of. I remember always flipping about to flip the channel with when Players Ball. This is their first thing when Players Ball used to come on, and I would always be like, oh yeah, I would like Rhapsody being on, and I would turn the channel. Like the first 5 or 6 times, I would turn the channel. So then I finally, this is when I was, closed. I ain't gonna lie, I was closed minded. I was like, what the hell is this? It wasn't the Mob. It wasn't Wu Tang. It wasn't Big. It wasn't Nas. So I'm turning the channel. I'm not gonna who are these guys. And then I sat there and actually listened to Big Boy and Dre on Players Ball, and I was like, whoa, whoa, what's going on here? And being a person that is born and only started embracing his southernness as he got older, and was actually able to live in the South as opposed to just visiting and listening to these two guys rap was like, well, hold on, this is something. And then getting that Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music album, and then it was like, yeah, this is something right here. And then that just solidified my Outcast fandom. Shout out to Outkast just being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm glad I got on the train. I got on the fan train when it first started. Almost didn't. I'm mad I kept turning that channel from Rap City when their video came on though. But when I finally sat and listened, Scotty, you were right. I'm sorry. I apologize, big bro. Rest in peace. You were right about the Outcast. It's just yeah, and I don't need to elaborate on that. Y'all heard the music, so let's stop. Um, and then let's see, 2000s we got Nelly. I don't care what you said, what you say about um Mr. Nelly. That first album to me is dope, super dope. It's a diamond album. I don't care what anybody say. And that album, those first Nelly had a run, man. Those first year, 2 years, whatever. Nelly music, I don't care what you say, was whack or whatever. Nelly music was dope to me. And then Luda, of course, Luda's music was dope to me. And then they just kept coming with the Ti's and the Jeezys and the two chains and um yeah, I forgot about Cash Money and yeah, I'm going all over the place with the timelines, but I just keep remembering when you bring up one, you can't bring up the other. You have to bring up the other, and forgot about the Cash Money and No Limit. Um, yeah, when Ice Cream Man came out, oh my God, me, oh man, I and all that whole No Limit run was dope. My brother was totally into it. Got me into it, and um, it's just reminiscent music. I mean, it doesn't, and then people say like, especially that's one thing with New York people. Sometimes we don't know how to open our minds to other musics, other styles of music, and I know No Limit music was dope, man, to me, man. And Mr. Swerve on and C Murder and Silk. I mean, they call Silk the worst rapper ever, but it was entertaining music. I mean, everybody doesn't have to be super nice to entertain you. With rap, sometimes it's just that it was different. He had a different flow, so I mean, people considered it whack. I had Silk's first album. I thought it was dope, man. So shout out to Silk the Shaka, C Murder, um, Mr. Swerve on. I mean, I liked all that the No Limit albums, man. And P, they had it on lock for a little while. And then Cash Money, we got got um one of the best hip hop producers in Manny Fresh. Um, we got Lil Wayne, considered people arguably one of the best rappers ever. Um, Manny Fresh, I said Manny Fresh, right? Yeah, Manny Fresh, great hip hop producer. Juvenile, and Baby, well, one of the um best business hip hop moguls, in rap. So we got a lot of stuff in music wise. Oh, I would be doing myself a very um acting like I wasn't, but the boy bands. Yeah, I was 20 in my 20s and NSYNC in Backstreet. Yeah, I was there, and those songs are timeless, man. Whatever, say what you want, call me what you want. I was into their music, the Backstreet Boys, especially NSYNC. NSYNC was my band. I have an NSYNC T-shirt in my 40s that I wear it proudly, man, because to me those boys did their thing, man. And I'm a big JT fan because of it. And um, yeah, the boy bands in the 2000s, man. I mean, I wanted that way. I guess back then you couldn't act like. It's funny though, because back then, if you was, I don't know, some dudes would act like they didn't, that song wasn't hitting. But now in their 40s, I look around the room sometimes when I'm somewhere like at a party or something like that, or somewhere, and that song is playing. I mean, even in the supermarket or like Walmart or somewhere there's music playing, and I want it that way, it'll come on or something like that. And you look around, man, look around, and you see dudes that probably wasn't singing that shit back then or making fun of people that did sing that shit back then, but they sing it now. All of them to it. Bye, bye, bye. I see dudes. You be somewhere with your kids somewhere like at a bouncy house park because that's where they play it too. That's where this is good. You can catch them. You can catch them. Dudes that look like they was tough, not tough, but um, like I don't listen to that shit. That song is crazy, whack or whatever. Like back then, but they be out with their kids now in the bouncy houses and in the Chuck E. Cheese's and the family oriented place or the amusement parks too. Yeah, that's when they be playing music. If you've been to Disney and over the speakers, they playing music and something like that, and you'll see them singing right along to Bye Bye Bye, right along to I Want It That Way, right along to all the NSYNC boy band songs, man. So act like it's okay, brother. Let your inner boy band sing along spirit out. It's okay. We in our 40s now. We can we can let the guard down now and stuff like that. We can, you know, be human, man. Like I said, music, man. Music is affects everybody. Um, the yeah, like songs that you expect to jam out to. We don't get a lot of that no more, man. Where all the white boy anthems at, man? We don't have those no more. Like those songs like that you see on the rock songs, like the Limp Biscuits and the Nickelbacks, man, and where are those bands at that people. It seems like they don't make Green Day. There's no music like that out there. All the white boys want to be rappers, man. I need y'all to be garage bands. We get some of that music, man. Where you at with your guitars, man? All y'all want to be in the trap, man. That's not cool. We enjoy y'all music. Stop trying to be, tough in the streets, man. We want y'all in the garage, man, making those songs that we can sing along to and act like we don't like. The songs that they play on the elevator, or like the songs they play in Walmart, the songs that they play at your job with the Caucasian people. We need those. We don't have a lot of those, man. Come on, give us some Caucasian music to listen to, man. We like that music too. We don't only listen to rap. We need some of that Caucasian music. Um, what is I remember recently at my family's or my wife's family, my family, our family at Thanksgiving at Myrtle Beach. They did like an Apollo, people were performing a song and stuff like that, different songs. And one of Yolana's cousins had asked me like, what's your favorite song? And my favorite song of all time is "Smells Like Teen Spirit." And I said it. He looked at me like I was crazy. Like, oh, yeah, that's my favorite song of all time. My daughter Sasha's always asking me, yeah, that's what's your favorite song? And yeah, she knows now. My favorite song is "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana. Another vinyl that I have. I have the Nevermind album on vinyl. Um, so yeah, my vinyl collection is not huge, but I have some, classic bangers, and that's one of them. But yeah, what's your favorite song? Um, put it in the comments on the um when you listen to it. I don't know if anybody's listening to this, but there's the comment section and you go on the Apple Music, the Apple Podcast, site when you click on the shows and episodes. There's a place where you can put comments, and so comment your favorite song of all time. My favorite song of all time is "Smells Like Teen Spirit." That's my favorite song ever made. It just I don't know. Um, no particular reason. It just I don't know. I just think it's a perfect song, man. It's like a rap song because it's like kind of talking about um being. I'm not gonna say free, but just like being like just not caring and wanting you people to pay attention to. It's just at that time when I first heard it, it's like yeah, I want the people to pay attention to me. We're here. I'm young, but I'm here. Um, I don't know. This song just resonates at that time what I was how I was feeling, and it just to me, it's still my favorite song ever. I mean, one of the best guitar solos ever. Kurt Cobain's vocals on it are amazing. It's just my favorite song ever made. So what is your favorite song? This is that's I'm asking. If you want, put it in the comments. I'm very interested in seeing people favorite song. Like you'd be surprised. Like I know that sounds surprising. Well, I don't know. I'm me. People know me, so they probably look at me like, yeah, that would be your favorite song, wouldn't it? But yeah. Um, everybody has their own, and it changes. Sometimes it changes as you get older. Your favorite song, but I'm, in my 40s now, and yeah, if I have the all time, my favorite song of all time is "Smells Like Teen Spirit." At one time, probably my favorite song was "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J. um, what's another one that's probably is switched and changed? "I'm Bad" by LL Cool J. Um, "Any Heartbreak" for a little while. was my favorite song ever. It just I don't know, it changed it, but no, like if I have to go with all time and no changing, um, final answer, locked in, is my favorite song. It smells like Teen Spirit. Um, I don't know. I think I went up and down music show for now. For this show, um, I went in every genre. I mean, this is just music. Like I said, music, man. It's just everybody listens to it. Everybody has their favorite. Everybody has well, probably the worst song. I don't really have a least favorite song that I hate that I won't. That people put on, and I'm like, I don't know. It's not really. I mean, hell, I've jammed out on my um on the way. Like we used to work in the city, used to commute. I've jammed out to freaking Geraldo, Rico, Suave. I mean, it's a horrible song. Sometimes the song is so bad that I just can't not like. People like Who Let the Dogs Out. Like, I mean, people like that song. It's a ridiculous song, yeah, but people put it on, and I don't know music. I don't think they could. There's bad songs, but I don't think they could really be a bad song. Somebody likes it, right? It's somebody's favorite song. It's somebody's go to banger, and that's the amazing thing about music, man. Is everybody has their favorite. Everybody has is different. It's just like somebody's favorite song is Who Let the Dogs Out, man. Seriously, um, and that's okay. Like what you like, man. I guess I'll end it on that, man. And encourage your kids to listen to music. And then there's one thing have to stop. I'm gonna stop, and I've stopped criticizing these kids' music from these days. That's like I've decided. I've always decided I don't even do it anymore. Like that's their music. That's for them. I'm sure the people my age when we was listening to Biggie and them and Nas and them, they probably thought that was crazy or that was whack or that. You know what I'm saying? So but that's our music. So that's their music. I don't try to listen to it. I can't even say the last song made by any of these artists that these kids, are whatever. The last probably from this generation. I don't even know if this generation of people like the name, but like I guess Drake, Kendrick, and Cole are like the only three from like this generation that I've actually purchased albums of or listened to songs or sing songs or have songs that I liked in them because despite the whole Drake getting buried, like by Kendrick and stuff like that, I still like some of his music. There's songs of Drake that I play, yeah, and like I said, but there's songs of Kendrick that I play and there's songs of J Cole, so that's one thing like I said, I stopped doing is just criticizing these kids' music. That's their music. Let them have it. It's not for me, so I don't have to, like it. I I have a great, extremely great choice of music from my era or from my generation to listen to that is timeless and I don't have to replace it with any of the new music. So I'll end it with that. Like I said, hope everybody's listening. Um Next show will be up soon. The next one I'm gonna do movies. Did music, and the next one is gonna be about movies. Another one of my favorite things to do is sit back and watch a good movie. Um, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so of course, um, I'll talk about that and just other great movies and other great movie moments. I'm gonna talk about. So hope you can tune into that one. It's been great. Um, Peace out. It's your boy him from there. I'll holla.